All right, I made this custom portfolio website for my photography that I think looks pretty cool. And this is a tutorial on how to edit my template because it's kind of structured really weirdly. And so I need a tutorial to explain it. And so yeah, I'll show you how to do that. And this is pretty cool. When you scroll, the thing at the bottom is kind of like a film roll. Then you click on it and it changes the photos. And then there's a second section for frames of beauty. Nice. And when you go to mobile, I don't know if this will show, it changes to just this simple scrolling feature. I think it looks good. Also, these photos are so perfect. Like, look at that. That's a Renaissance painting. Anyways, this is the tutorial. Enjoy it. Go to the link that I sent, and I'm going to assume that you haven't used Webflow before, but just press clone this. But I assume that you can figure out this part because you're a big boy with a big brain. Then you go to Webflow, and this is the layout of Webflow. These are like different blocks. So this body is the background. This section is the text here. This, I'll talk about in a bit. This is this film roll at the bottom. And so if you want to change this film roll and change the images that are here, go in, open up the flex block, open up the div, and you'll notice we have all these images. And so this part, the first part is very easy, self-explanatory. You click on the image you want to change, go to settings, and replace image. Choose a different image from here or upload a different one, clicking this. And pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. If you go to the actual site, this scrolls according to your mouse position. What the tricky part is if you go to the site, the actual site, you'll notice the clicking. And so in order to get that clicking and changing to work, you need to, let's say you're changing this image, right? I changed it to something else. In order to get the click change to work, you need to go to the corresponding div block up here, go to settings again, go to custom attributes, and change the link that's here. Because right now, this link is pointing to this image, but if I change the image here, it'll still point to the old image. And so what you have to do is press J to go to this assets, and then press this little gear, copy link here, and this is copying the link to this. And so if I go to what that link is, it's just like the link of the image. And then you press Z again, go back to the div block. So let's say I change this image to the tree. I go to the div block, go to this custom attribute, paste in the thing, and it should change. When you click there, it should change to it. Similarly, I have this other custom attribute for the data location. And so you can make this any caption. This will just show up in the top right here. And if you go to these ones, these have like the timestamp and this. And so, yeah, just put in the text here, BR with this triangle bracket if you want to make it separate into a second line. And so that is the basics of it. There is one more thing I want to show. Oh, actually, first off, if you go to body, so body, if you change these images, you'll want to change this background to whatever your first image is, because when the site loads, this thing is not active for some reason. So when the site loads, you will want to change this to whatever this image is. And similarly, we want to go to settings, site settings, go to custom code. And so this is what's governing the whole click to change function. And you want to change this text here to whatever you want the first caption, whatever you want this to be. Because otherwise, if you don't change that, and like if it wasn't for this line of code, when you first loaded the site, there would be nothing here. And then when you clicked, it would work. All right, I think that should be the basics covered. All right, there's actually one more thing to talk about, which is if you press on my site, frames of life, frames of beauty, there's actually a different link for beauty. And so if you want to add these separate sections, I'll show you how to do that. And so go back to the site, open the designer, and the way that I did this is if you press P, you'll open up the pages. And so there's a couple of, I honestly ignore these. It's frames of beauty, this one. And you can go in, change this in the same way that I just described in the other tutorial. I'm reminded there's an important thing I need to mention here, but I'll finish this first. You change this, and then that will, update this frames of beauty bit. You can change the name here. And if you want to change the name of this, because right now this is frames of beauty, press settings, page name, change the slug. And right now, this text, this links back to the other page. If you want to add a third section, what I would do is, I might not, yeah, I didn't. Type some stuff out, unbold it, do shift space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's call it, I don't know, .app. And so right now, this is nothing, but you want it to link to another page. So you're gonna press the link, and now it looks all weird. So then you're gonna go to style, what is this called? Linked pages, linked page. You're gonna change this link to maybe backup of pics, but you're not actually gonna do that. You're then gonna duplicate this page to something, and then you're gonna go here, make the forward to that page, and then you're gonna open that page and change the layout to what you see fit. All right, hopefully that makes sense. But I'm reminding myself now that there's a big important thing that you should not forget to do, which is if you go to mobile, right? Like this, when you click, it's this cool layout, but when you go to mobile, it's a completely different layout. It's no animation, it's just a list of photos. And so if you change these photos here, you'll find that when you go on mobile, it'll still be all of my old photos. So what you'll need to do is go copy this flex block, open up section phone. I honestly forget why I did this, but just trust that you need to do it. Delete phony block, which will have all my photos. Paste your flex block with all your new photos. Go to this and change the class to phony block, and then it'll work. I forget why I did that, to be honest, but last bit here is if you want to change this. I don't know if you want to keep the same style, but let's say I wanted to make the E, I would bold it, and then I would change the class to bold text 2, which is what these are called. And yeah, and if you want to change this font, feel free to just click on any one of them, and then like that looks pretty cool, for example. Maybe I just keep that. All right, so this is second section, which is how to add a new page or change the second page. All right, there's one last bit that I want to talk about, and that is the animation behind this scroll function. And so what you might find if you add a ton of different photos, or if you delete photos, is that this animation is governed for the amount of photos that I have. And so if you only have 5 photos here, it'll look wonky. I don't want to delete, fuck. Fine, I'll do it. Okay, you've convinced me. So let's say I delete, fuck me. This is gonna just be annoying. Okay, let's say I delete all those. Now, see, look at how, it's so far. This is, honestly, it works, but it's a little annoying. If you change it by a more drastic amount, then it'll be even worse. So, what do you do? How do you fix it? What you do is, honestly, I kind of forget, but you go to interactions, yes, press body, you go to interactions, mouse move in viewport, film scroll animation, settings, and you just change these amounts. Honestly, I don't know, this is a guessing game, so just do trial and error to see what values make sense. Like, change this and then go to this and see, does that make it into the center when I'm over here, roughly? Yeah, you'll figure it out. That's the last bit. So thank you for following. I apologize that this is one of the most poorly layouted, what the fuck is English? This is one of the worst organizations of a website that you can probably imagine. These names of classes don't really make sense, but I'm not a professional programmer, and I have trust that you can figure it out. If you have questions, hit me up on Instagram @byjmitch. And I think that should be it. I just recorded another video, which is how to host Webflow sites on Namecheap, because on Webflow you have to pay $20 a month. With Namecheap you can pay $20 a year. And so that's this video, if you're interested in that. If you want to actually host this at a custom domain, like this. Custom domain, this is not me. But yeah, you get the idea. Cool.